Now, in other news, another prison break now capturing the attention of authorities across the region. But this time, the escapee, a former Hamas commander, accused of spying for Israel and absconding from a prison in the Gaza Strip. Joining with more is former head of the Coordinator of Government Activities in the Territories, or COGAT, Major General in Reserves, Eitan Dangot. Major, thank you so much for being with us. Now, what can you tell us about this fugitive, 35-year-old Abd al-Karim Abu Odeh?
I cannot say a lot of things about him, but just is one of the main high figures that I can think that was arrested by its own organization of Hamas. Hamas were very proud on quoting him by claiming that he was a spy for Israel and he had a lot of information which was supplied to Israel during the tunnels, and they were blaming him and put him in the jail. It was like a symbol for Hamas to show their success. Compared to what happened in Israel, I hope it will end in a different way, that they will not find him. But on the other end, I could say that it shows the struggle on the intelligence field between Israel and Hamas, not as a regular conventional fields that we are used to. Because one of the main things that Hamas is putting a lot of efforts is to close and to block any kind of intel entrance to its organization, because it could achieve for Israel great achievements that can influence and can a lot of help to assist a lot of help to Israel to success in their activities and to surprise Hamas. So when we are dealing about it, I think it's generally above all, it shows this kind of struggle. It shows the way Hamas has a sensitivity. They closed as they published all the borders that he will not escape to Israel. I cannot confirm and not confirm what he did, whether it was true or not true, but it shows the sensitivity of Hamas. And on the other end, they are above the curtain, the efforts that are done by both sides, especially by Israel, to enter to Hamas. And there were a lot of times that we succeed to surprise Hamas.
Well, so Major General, again, the allegations here is that he helped trace and map out some of the tunnel system of Hamas's metro and handed it over to his Israeli handlers. Regardless of whether or not Abu Odeh was a spy, Hamas says that he was. So this escape is obviously very embarrassing to Hamas, and a number of Abu Odeh's family has already been harassed and arrested over this weekend. Might we see any sort of reciprocation or violent retaliation against Israel in response to this news?
I don't think so, because Hamas will get arrests from the side of Israel. I will not suggest Hamas and will not give them the idea to make it, because I think at the moment they are doing it, they have a lot of loss of price for the activities, for what they achieve on the other side with Egypt, according all the discussions that were done, led by Egypt with the support of Qatar Finance. There is a lot of efforts from some Arab countries trying to reduce violence in this arena, but I think Hamas, it's not the time they will choose to make anything. The only thing I think that Hamas has really had a lot of concerning and have what to lose on the field of intelligence. The moment that both they point as the main figure that supplying their claim to Israel information was escaped and will not be found, it means for them like a loss in an area which is darkness basically every day, and they can be surprised by Israel in other fields.
All right, so my final question, and maybe you can answer this simply yes or no, but again, assuming that Abu Odeh was a spy, let's assume that the allegations are true. Would Israel do anything to help in his escape?
The answer is yes and no.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to leave it at that and let people use their imaginations. Major General Eitan Dangot, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.